So while Liz, Serge, and Ashton are away from the keyboards for a little bit, we're gonna do a something that we talked about yesterday, where all of us are going to talk about some amount of media that we found or consumed this year that we really enjoyed, and we want to share that with you, and hopefully you can get some enjoyment out of that too. So we'll do that when they are all back. Are we feeling good on the tech side of things to make all 9 of us happen at once, or is that a bad idea? Let me know. No.
Well, we have word from tech.
Okay. Well, then in that case, we will start right now, and we'll start with as Julie and Ashley. And the idea here is just what media, video game, music, TV show, movie, board game, whatever. What are some things that you found enjoyment from this year? Remember, it didn't need to be something that was created this year. It's just something that you found this year. And I asked everybody to pick 2 or 3 things. So let's start with Az.
Okay. So I have a couple different things I was thinking about talking about. I'm going to start with the one that probably this audience knows the most, but I want to push it anyway, which is Ikenfell. That game is so good. And it's been really fun because my husband, PJ, works for Humble Bundle, and they helped to make Ikenfell, like they published it or something. And so I kind of have been able to like see the back end of it like percolating, and it was so fun to see it come out and then actually getting to play it. It's just beautiful. The other thing that I was going to mention that I know has been talked about a few times on Zeta, but I don't think it's been mentioned anywhere else, which is Owl House. It's this really adorable cartoon. If you like She-Ra, if you like Kipo, if you like Steven Universe, it's great. It's very sweet and adorable, but very good for adults too. And, you know, queer relationships are very obviously like a part of it, which is great. And I appreciate that a lot. And then my third thing, which is the thing that I know for a fact, likely nobody here will have heard of because it's really weird. I, through the randomness of Instagram, discovered a band called Junie and the Hut Friends. Their music is very interesting. It's like, you know, like poppy, kind of synthetic-y. It's got Junie, who's a singer. She used to make robots. She's super quirky, and I really appreciate her sense of humor, and it really like comes into her music a lot. And then the second half of her band is called the Hut Friends, HUT Friends, and I don't actually know if they're real. I think that's kind of the point, though. But it's like this weird thing where all of her bandmates are just people, maybe not even human people, in black, like all like black garb, like they're the background people in like stage plays and stuff. It's just super goofy, and I absolutely adore it. Yes, the SoundCloud, that's definitely them. It's really good, and I love their music.
Cool. Awesome. Ashley, what do you got?
Okay. I mean, James and I, of course, have watched a lot of media together this year. So I'm not sure what he's going with. So I'll try and pick a few different things. First off, one of my favorite bands, it's a Canadian rock group called the Arkells, released Campfire Chords this year, which is sort of an acoustic / a redo of a lot of their songs, which has been cool to listen to and just a different take. So that's been really awesome. I actually bought my first game system in 2020. To play Animal Crossing. Played a lot of that. That's kind of helped something positive to sort of NC creation out of it. Because, the beginning of this year kind of sucked.
So did the middle and the end, to be fair.
Yeah, but I had a really hard time, like, right at the beginning, March and April. It was just the constant doom scrolling that I was not in a good headspace. And so, I started hearing everyone talk about Animal Crossing, and I just decided to jump in both feet. And it's been really nice because, again, you can sort of see the creation of what you're doing, which has been very positive for me. And then I will pick probably a show that I don't think James will say, but we watched early on and it was just super kind of fun. But Never Have I Ever, I think is what it's called. The Mindy Kaling, show. It's high school students. It's very like positive and it's a different take and just, it was a lot of fun to watch.
That was this year?
Yeah, it was.
I 100% would have been like, oh, that was last year.
No, this is the year that never ends. So yeah, that was early this year. I think actually that might have been June.
Oh my god. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Cool.
That's sort of my three things. A little bit
Those are three good things.
That's me.
Julie, what do you got?
So yeah, I don't have anything. I'm really bad at consuming new media, so it's all things I've discovered or finally got around to in 2020. One of the things that's been really keeping me going through 2020, and I picked it up kind of end of 2019, I guess, but really got into it this year for reasons, is Final Fantasy XIV. Finally got on that bandwagon, and boy, has it been a good wagon. Smooth ride, good wheels. I also discovered a new band that I don't know, again, new to me, band, Spanish love songs. I've been really enjoying this year. I've embraced the fact that I am emo trash deep in my soul, and Spanish love songs has killer vocals and lyrics and great emo trash sound, and I love it. And then of course books. I mean, I'm still on my my old science nonfiction bull bus, so I'm reading these at the moment. I'm working on 3 at once. Wonderful Life by Stephen Jay Gould finally started. Dry Storm #1, The Secret Life of the Natural History Museum by Richard Forty. Finally got into this one after picking it up years ago. And probably the newest piece of media I have consumed lately. This one came out I think this only came out a couple of years ago, but again, finally got around to reading it. Carl Zimmer's latest, She Has Her Mother's Laugh. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my 2020 in media.
Awesome. Thank you. Mikey, what you got?
So I tried to rank by like what was I the most affected by, and I'm gonna start with the curveball. I have watched a remarkable amount of Mario Maker streamers and YouTubers this year.
Okay.
Like this guy named Panga or Ryukar or Low Curves. I just like watching people like overcome horrendous Mario obstacles, and I don't know, I can just watch it forever. And there's my curveball. Palm Springs came out at precisely the correct time in 2020, because we all were in very Trent Reznor every day is exactly the same sort of territory. So it was the right movie at the right time for me, and it's very funny. It's on Hulu, I believe. You should go watch it if you haven't. Very funny. And then my last one, I kind of like had to take a second to pick like what truly affected me this year, especially in terms of like finding joy and believing we can all make it. Shocker, Bill and Ted 3. That movie was so sweet and so like, we can do this. everyone. Like, if we work together, we can do this. And it broke me. I was not prepared for that one to be as emotional as it was. So those are my 3.
That's great. Cool. All right. Well, it sounds like Serge, Liz, and Ashton are all ready to come back. So I will bid farewell to our volunteers right now. As Julie, Ashley, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
And we will see you either later today or tomorrow for more game shows. Bye.
Sounds good.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Oh, it's just you and me, James.
And now it's just you and me. Let's do
We're gonna
this.
fight to the stream death.
Okay. How do we do that?
I poked the screen.
Oh, I poked.
Hey, okay, let's bring everybody back.
I just booped your nose. I got you. I booped it real good.
Booped it real good.
All right. Well, while we're bringing back the other 3, I will talk about mine.
Ooh, please do.
So there's been a lot of really good music this year, which has been great because that's sort of one of my big go-tos. TV has played a massive role, maybe more so than any other year, especially with so few movies coming out.
I think you need the length too, right? Like, 2 hours isn't enough to take our mind off this year. I think it's like, I need 12.
Yep. And then books. I have read more this year than any year before. So I've picked one from each of those. Music. Again, there's been a lot of great albums, but the one that has really stood out to me is Jessie Ware's new album. Sorry, friends. My phone is being stupid. Perfect. Jessie Ware's new album. It's called What's Your Pleasure? And it is fantastic. It is a sort of disco synth pop dance album. It's so good. It's high energy. It's fun. It's peppy. You'll just want to get up and move. And I cannot recommend it more. It's just fantastic. It just always puts me in a great mood. It's a really good, album to work out to if that's your jam, or even just go for a walk or go for a drive. I really love it. So highly recommend. Book. As I said, I've read more. When I say I've read more books, I've read like 5 books, but that's more than I normally read.
Good chunk of books.
And the one that I really loved is not going to really come as a surprise to anybody here. It's Hank Green's new book, which is the sequel to his book that came out a few years ago. These are 2 phenomenal books that I think everybody should read. It is a mixture of science fiction and a scary sort of real life look at what the internet as a whole and social media as a whole is doing to us, all wrapped up in a really fun, well-paced, enjoyable, character-driven story.
What's it called?
So the latest book is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor.
Oh, Serge is back.
And the first book was a absolutely remarkable thing.
Yes.
So you should definitely read both. They are great. TV show. God, I've watched a lot of TV, but hands down, without a doubt, probably the best piece of media I have ingested all year is Ted Lasso on Apple TV.
Yes.
This is hands down a show that has no right to be as good as it is, and it is arguably one of the best TV shows that has ever come out, let alone this year. It is based off of a silly character that was conceived of like 8 years ago as a goof for ESPN, and
as
they're
an
like
ad for an ESPN show.
Yeah, it was basically ESPN had gotten the rights to show Premier League soccer or football in the States, and they're like, hey, I've got an idea. How about we make this character who is played by Jason Sudeikis, who is incredible in the show, who plays a American football coach who's been hired to coach a British football team. And it was silly and goofy, and I would guess not many people actually saw it. And they're like, I think this has legs. I think we can make this a show. And not only does it have legs, not only is it a great show, it is also an incredibly positive show. Like, it is without question just the most heartfelt, incredible. It will make you feel good. Every episode will make you smile. Some will make you cry.
Yes.
It is fantastic. Like, it is phenomenal. If there is one thing that I wish you will go watch this year, it's that. It's really good. Okay, Paul, what do you got?
Well, I mean, Ted Lasso was definitely on my list as well.
Heck yeah.
It was definitely at your recommendation. In fact, I checked that out, and yeah, it was definitely. I enjoyed the heck out of that. I was thinking one of the things that I've actually gotten into is, or what I've been lucky enough to do is during the pandemic, I've been actually playing games, computer games with my brother who lives in Boston, and so we've been having sort of weekly chats and then playing games together, and we've been really enjoying Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
Which is one of those great games where it's a two-player game, but it's kind of like Sonic and Tails, where the second player plays Tails. Like, the second player isn't necessary, but it's just like you can still do like all sorts of cool stuff. So one person can be one person is I forget what her name is, the hero. And the other person is the cat, who's incredibly adorable. And then you go around, and it's just like the most wholesome video game. I mean, probably in the same reason why everyone's been enjoying Animal Crossing and stuff. It's just this, like, going through the underworld, or the underworld, or the afterlife world. It's not entirely clear where you are. Right, Stella is the girl, and helping out people, and you find things, and there's like you get like, it's like, oh no, there's a boss fight happening, but the boss fight is there's like a dragon, and you're like, oh no, there's a dragon, and it's like, oh, the dragon's hurt because it's got all these, there's like these weird like chunks of nasty crystal stuff growing on him, and see the boss fight is you like jumping around, breaking these crystals off and helping out the dragon. Like, that's the boss fight. That's the and so like the conflict is there isn't really like fighting. There's jumping around and doing stuff, and lots of, and it's about like resource collection and combining things together and stuff. I don't know, the boat that you're on is very impractical, but that isn't, you've got like a you've got like an iron smelting place, and like all these different things, and as in Animal Crossing, the people you're helping are quite demanding. Like, they're like, hey, can I can we hang out together? And you're like, yeah, sure, come on my boat. And they're like, yeah, I like your boat, but do you have any food? Can you feed me? Can you make this type of food that I like? And you're like, okay, I guess I could do that. And then a little while later, they'll be like, I really like that food. Could you make me a house on your boat? Could I just have a house that's like customized specifically to me? And you're like, I guess, okay. And then a little while later, they'll be like, could you give my house like better stuff? Like, I feel like it's kind of empty. It'd be like, hey, this is my boat. You're a passenger on my boat. Stop with all the demands, man.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you can play with somebody else. It works very well on the Steam Remote Play,
Cool.
or like remote play together.
Yeah.
And actually, another game that I started playing, the Ghostbusters game, not a game from 2020, but I got it in 2020 because this is like the remastered version of the Ghostbusters game, and it's super cool. it's almost actually it's sort of like the third Ghostbusters movie, actually written, and it's actually was written by
Harold Ramis.
all the Harold Ramis and all the people involved in the other one.
Yeah.
In the first two, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, and so they're all reprising their roles, and yeah, you just kind of get to hang out with them. I mean, some of the gameplay stuff isn't like the best, but it's just kind of fun to hang out with them. So I've been enjoying that.
Cool.
Yeah. I thought there's one other thing, but it's all I can think of. I thought I had another thing, but maybe anyway.
All right, Liz.
I just saw that the VST is taking track and writing all this stuff down, or
Perfect.
tracking it as I would expect, because this is all awesome and I want to be able to. Okay, so book is I guess I was trying to think about it, but I have just been rereading some of my favorite books this year because of comfort, and Scalzi's Lock-In I felt like was a really interesting take on the world when there's like a change due to health situations. Anyway, it's awesome because it's Scalzi. And then video games, because I'm hip and new. I am playing Breath of the Wild because I got my first Switch because pandemic. And let's see, music. I'm listening to Amanda Palmer and the Grand Theft Orchestra because I love her stuff and the music is rocking. Actually, the next music is linked into TV shows. So TV, I discovered the series Lucifer this year, which is surprisingly satisfying.
It's a fun show.
It's really fun, and then they just keep getting saved by some networks. Kipo and the Age of the Wildebeest, I think.
Oh, it's so good.
It's such a good, kind of anime, but on Netflix. And the third season, I think, just came out, and it is so good, and the music's amazing. And then there's this one rap that's wolves, and it's two wolves are singing about the origin history of the universe, and it's one hip-hop artist that I'm forgetting his name, and then John Hodgman together rapping about the age of the universe, and I think you should check it out. I'm excited to when I can share that with my nephew so he understands that wolves are cool. I'm also
Cool.
They're the best when they're scientists. So, and then the other show I loved is Julia and the Phantoms. Does anyone else see this on Netflix?
No.
It's amazing. She's a teenage girl who obviously now sees three boy ghosts from the 90s that died in the 90s, and they have a band now, and they play music together, and the actors they hired are all actual musicians, so they're actually a real band, so I can totally see them going on tour. And so then also it created this beautiful world where there's also an amazing soundtrack.
Is this also animated?
No, it's real life, and I like sat and watched the whole season very quickly because Netflix, and it was awesome. And then movie at Palm Springs, I think someone said that, I couldn't hear, but I saw the chat say Palm Springs.
Yeah, Mikey mentioned that one.
I love that film. And then
that was
The Rim of the World was a Netflix one that's been out for a while, but it's so dumb and like kids tell the adults how to save the world kind of thing that just made me really happy. So that was my list of stuff.
Cool. Serge, what do you got?
I don't consume a lot of traditional media in terms of like music, TV, or movies, but I sure do watch a lot of YouTube.
Still counts.
Yeah, so I want to talk about probably the three major things that I've been watching on YouTube lately. One is Hermitcraft.
Yep.
Hermitcraft is a collection of just like huge Minecraft YouTubers. There's about 20 of them that all hang out together and collab And it doesn't just start off as like, here's a build, which is kind of cool. It's actually a lot of script and improv and storytelling with Minecraft as a medium. And they're also like phenomenal builders, which is very cool. So I enjoy that quite a lot. For comedy, I've been going back through and checking out the backlog of Pro ZD and his 11-second goofs. Voice actor, I think he actually had a voice role in the latest Borderlands games.
He did.
Yeah, very talented, very, very, very funny. And something I enjoy watching a lot with Joe is a YouTuber named Sophia Nygaard. She does really good like video essays on topics like, I'm going to melt down 10,000 sticks of lipstick and make a cake. Or something ridiculous like that.
That doesn't seem like a good cake.
And the fascinating thing with Sophia is the production cycle of our videos are like months long. She like, hey, we pitched this idea in January, ordered everything in March. Orders was kind of weird. Production was really weird. So we released it in November. And that just twists my brain in a way I don't even understand. And the number of projects that she and her team are balancing and ordering out and doing stuff like that while also getting married and moving into a new house and navigating a pandemic. It's fascinating. Like really, really, really well put together videos. So that's my, I guess I picked 3 for all my categories. Sure, that's my top 3 for YouTube for 2020. The majority of what I read is like a particular genre of fantasy novel called wuxia, which is like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon would be the best way to do that. So it's basically martial artists with superpowers, which is very silly, and the scope of which starts with like, I'm a young poor boy in a village to I am now literally an immortal god, and I just went and studied for 40,000 years, and now my finger can push through a mountain. It's pretty silly. So I don't know how many people are actually into that, but my top 3 for 2020 that I read were Library of Heaven's Path, I Shall Seal the Heavens, and The Legend of Fuxian. What domineering titles. They're kind of ridiculous. And my top 3 video games of 2020. I'm a big fan of like roguelike and strategy games and stuff like that. So my number 1, not in any particular order, but the first one I want to talk about is a deck building roguelike called Monster Train, which was really fun. If I talk about actual hours played, it'd probably be Slay the Spire, but Monster Train is a newer game that came out there. Was a fantastic twist on sort of the deck building roguelike genre. Really, really, really enjoyed that game. It's sort of like deck building game meets tower defense, which is pretty cool. The second game I've been playing a ton of in 2020 is not a game that came out this year, but they've been adding a ton of content to it, is actually Civilization 6. So they've rolled out a Seasons Pass model for DLC, which is adding new civs, new challenge modes, new game modes, and stuff like that. And if you haven't checked out the Civ games in a while, especially if you started playing Civ 6 when it first came out, you kind of bounced off it. It's so good right now. Civ 6 is really, really good right now. And so huge fan of that. And I can't talk about 2020 video games and not talk about Hades. Hades is absolutely amazing. If you're not familiar, it's an action roguelike that has a lot of like reflex sort of style of, dodge and monster patterns and stuff like that. But what I didn't expect was unbelievable writing, unbelievable voice acting. Like the amount of dialogue and story and feels that are in this game is unbelievable. And on top of that, it's just like this super tight action roguelike game. And yeah, I just want to keep playing more and more and more of that. And the music, oh my God, the music. So yeah.
Cool. All right, Ashton. Oh, you got more?
Actually, if I may really quickly, should we start the next giveaway just for time stuff, or do we want to finish this bit and then get the next giveaway going?
We can start the giveaway, and then we'll finish off with Ashton.
Yeah, I apologize for cutting you off, but we do want to wrap this up at 11:45, just so we give lots of people lots of time to go. So our final giveaway for the day, Magic Friends Rejoice. This is the Secret Lair Drop Series Explosion Noises. Bitter Blossom Dreams. Oh my God, Kitties, Restless in Peace, and Seeing Visions. This is really exciting. So goblins have one solution to all problems. Explosions! With Secret Lair's explosion sounds, you get foil, alternate art versions of Goblin Bushwhacker, Sharpshooter, Lackey, King, and Pile Driver, all with art by Mike Uziel. Careful they don't blow up on you. You want some fairies, because they're beautiful, dangerous, and both. Lena Richards brings us foil alternate art Bitter Blossom and a set of 4 foil alternate art fairy tokens that form a panoramic scene in Secret Lair Bitter Blossom. Watch your life total and be prepared for mischief. Oh my god, kitties! Need we say more? Featuring foil alternate art versions of Arabo, Roar of the World, Leonin Warleader, Miri, Weatherlight Duelist, Kasali Slingers, Regal Carousel, and 2 different cat tokens by Andrea Radek, Erica Williams, Jacob Elrich, and Allison Carl. These cute and fluffy kitties will make your deck 10,000 times more adorable. Meow. Next lot we have is Sometimes the Dead Don't Stay Dead in Secret Lair, Restless in Peace. Dan Mumford resurrects Golgari Thug, Life from the Loam, and Bloodghast, all in foil with alternate art. Life finds a way, but so does death. And what would you do if you could see the future, or at least the next 2 cards? In Secret Lair Scene Visions, you have 4 different versions of Serum Visions, each in foil, and with art ranging from street to abstract by Christina Colantes, DXTR, Lauren YS, and Jamie Zavurza. So these 5 Secret Lair sets are no longer for sale. You cannot get, but you can get them here. Each comes with a full alternate art of some of Magic's most famous cards and contain redemption codes for Magic Online and Magic Arena as well. So this is a very spicy, very shiny Magic lot here. We're going to run this until 11:45.
Whoa.
Friends, could you give me a good number that we should ask people to donate in order to be entered into this contest?
How many individual cards are you getting from this?
It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 4, 16, 18, 20 something. Maybe somewhere between 20 and 22. I can't exactly tell, and that's presuming that they're all listed there, not including tokens. I don't know, 20-ish.
All right. So let's say 22
Okay.
cents.
Yeah.
And there are 5 Secret Lair drops in here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Secret Lair, 1, 2, 3. Yes, 522.
Wow.
How about we say 522?
Love it. All right, so $5.22 starting at 11, going until 11:45.
That's like half.
It is.
That's a little over half of what you could get in for the previous
Yeah, that's very
WotC
affordable.
lot. I think
So-
we're gonna get over 4444444.
Quite possibly. Almost certainly.
Yeah, these secret layers, man. Because the thing is that they were only available for a limited time, and even in that limited time, there was limited quantities available. So I know there was a lot of consternation in our group, being like, okay, do we want to go in on a pack? Like which one of these do we want to get? It's like, which one do you want? Cam really wanted the one
Which
with
art
the.
do you want? Yeah, the specific one,
For
right?
what it's worth, for Paul, just to correct you there, they weren't limited. They were limited in time availability, but not in numbers.
Not in numbers?
No, they were.
I thought they sold
Secret
out.
Layers
Okay.
are print on demand. So what they do is they say you can order these for 6 days, but once 6 days is up, that's it. You can't order anymore.
I like
all
the
right.
person who said $5.22. That's not enough. Well, you can donate multiples thereof for more chances to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
$10.44. You get 2 chances.
Yep. All right. So, that number shoots up higher and higher. Ashton, what do you got?
Hazards of going last. Most of my stuff has been picked already, so I'm just going to go through my whole list and briefly cover the ones that have already been mentioned. So Ted Lasso, very obvious, easy choice for most of us this year. Highly recommend. Also, Schitt's Creek, SCHITTS.
Does not need to be
Does not need to be censored.
censored.
Minute
And will not be
name,
on most
so-
network television, which is great. Very, very good show, also comedy. And I believe, yeah, it's complete now. You can
Complete and
all
Canadian.
all the things are released, so that's you can just go in and watch the whole thing. I didn't enjoy what they did with the mayor character right near the start, but they got over that really quickly.
Oh, Roland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just Chris
I
Elliott.
feel you.
got-
I feel you. I feel you.
I'm like,
I gotta
am I really
say,
going to
like-
be able to power through this? But they ditched that idea really quickly, and they move on, and it's nothing but gold. Paul, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I got to say, like Schitt's Creek, I was kind of medium. I'm kind of medium on it right now, but I'm only at the very beginning, and I've heard it's excellent. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to put the time in.
I would recommend that. It's very good. Something else I rewatched this year, or I'm in the process of rewatching along with the accompanying podcast, is The Good Place. Incredible show. Wraps up really well. Probably one of the best endings in television I have experienced. If you haven't seen it and are not aware about it, just go watch it. Moving on. Something else. I don't know if this falls under TV, but National Theatre Live is the British. It's a British idea. They televise filmed theater performances. Karen and I go to the theater a lot when we're able, and we obviously haven't been able to the last few months to a year. So they release, not frequently, but semi-frequently, they're releasing their catalog onto YouTube one at a time. So look around for that, and they'll do it for a limited time and accept donations to help keep the arts going. Highly recommend
really
those
neat.
as well if you're into theater. These are all games, so I'll come back to these movies. Palm Springs has already been mentioned. Highly recommend. Very good watch. A book series that I have been reading for a very long time. We mentioned it yesterday, and I know people were concerned about spoilers, so I will give you no spoilers. But the Dresden Files, books 16 and 17 came out this year. After a few years hiatus from that series, Jim Butcher, the author, took some time off to do other things, other books and related graphic novel stuff. So he is back. They released that as 2 books. Very highly recommend if you're into the urban fantasy genre. A lot of the time that's just like vampires and werewolves. Like that's the 2 things they mash together in an urban setting, which are present in this 17 currently book series. I think it's going to like 20 or 21 books, something like that. But it covers a lot of things. It follows Dresden, who is a wizard who is out in full view of the world, which is not something that usually happens in this world. Anyway, book series I highly enjoy, and I'm very happy to have 2 more books out this year. Hades was already mentioned by Serge. Also very highly recommend. It's Supergiant does just great games in general. The music, the art, the story, it usually all comes together in a package that is greater than the sum of its parts. And I really enjoyed Bastion and Transistor and
The music, right?
The music especially, it's so good. But yeah, also what you said, the voice acting, the story, like it's all great. And also what Paul mentioned was Spiritfarer. It's kind of just a game about taking care of your friends. And if super chill, no like fail states or things that can go horribly wrong. And it's just about like helping your friends get to their destination and learning various things along the way about each other. Very happy about that one. And something I've been discovering through friends who are playing it for the first time is Outer Wilds, which is really only a 1 playthrough thing. It's all about the discovering the the thing that's enjoyable about it is the unearthing, the journey, the mystery that's in the game. And a few of my friends have recently been playing through that over this year, and I've been able to gush about that story with them, and it's awesome. A couple music things: the Swell season, which is the people. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Once. The two people in there are actually a band, and they have. I think they've only released the 2 albums, but I really enjoy their dynamic. Something I discovered through James's stream, which was Glory Hammer, which is
Hell yeah,
ridiculous metal band that
hell yeah,
they're just a lot of ridiculous fun. I highly encourage you to check out their latest 2 albums. Tons of fun. And then finally, 2 things that are not related to any of those things. Playframe, which is Carrie, who is on Alpha Flight, is
what's up?
Playframe, and Dan, her husband, they run the Playframe channel together. It's just really nice hangout gameplay content on YouTube. Go check it out if you're into that kind of thing. And at the risk of maybe embarrassing him, James, your stream in the mornings has been like this solid wake up thing every morning. Just the ASMR chunk punching, hanging out, talking with people. It's been a really nice, solid start to my day, and like routine has been key this year. Just like having something reliable, and for me in the mornings, that's been awesome. And
thank you.
If anybody is up that early, 7 a.m. Pacific, I'm sure lots of you on the East Coast can check it out. 7 a.m. Pacific most weekdays.
I mean, the Caillou
Except
got
Tuesdays.
old fast, but he does all right.
It's been really fun doing that stream, and having that weird early morning community, and having it's been really cool having you there and a couple other people who have become sort of regulars. So,
And
awesome.
that is my list.
It's a
All
very
right.
good list.
Well, enjoy, chat. We have given you a tremendous amount of content to consume.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again in November 2021. There's a follow-up quiz.
Yeah, we will quiz you on everything.